What is good, fight fans? This is Ashley's Corner. Yes, my final video for this Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. fight. All right. This is the co-main event. It's going off this Saturday. Don't miss it. Do not miss the entire card. It's fire. I believe it starts at the card itself starts at 3 p.m. Eastern time on the zone. I believe it is pay-per-view. I think the prelims or whatever undercard or whatever starts before that. So be prepared. I'm not necessarily sure when it's gonna go down, but both of these fighters have been talking a lot back and forth. But Brian Norman Jr. has really came out of his shell, if you want to call it that. But he's really been putting his words together and sounding pretty funny. He's been entertaining and building up this fight. So shout out to both fighters, and hopefully both fighters make weight and feel awesome on fight night, and nothing is wrong with either fighter, because I'm hoping for a good night. I don't want no bad ref. I don't want no bad judges. Let's get it on, like they used to say. Devin Haney is gonna have to show his boxing class, like everybody says. He has a master class boxing style. He's gonna have to show that. He's gonna have to show all his boxing IQ in the way that he hasn't shown, regardless of all the stuff, the mess that he's talking. Nah, like him saying that he not gonna get no credit for the fight. People saying that people gonna say that that's what he's supposed to do. I doubt it. If Devin Haney win this fight, guaranteed he's going to jump high, just like he did when he beat Lomachenko. I guarantee it. just like after he beat Lomachenko, he's going to jump high in the sky. But fast, quick, straight punches. The 1 and the 2 is going to be Devin's money punches in this fight. He does not have the reach advantage on Brian Norman Jr. He has the speed advantage on Brian Norman Jr. He's going to have to show otherwise as far as feet, because in my opinion, Brian Norman got some twinkle toes, and it's things that I've seen him do in practice that I haven't seen Devin do ever. So in my opinion, like, Brian Norman Jr. could have better feet than Devin Haney, and we're going to have to see that in this fight. Moving lateral doesn't mean you have the best feet. Like, that's a lot of people can do that. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney's going to have to show us a side of him that we haven't seen yet, in my opinion. Like, he's going to have to show us something. The people that was his size, as far as his height, and had around his size of reach, was Ryan Garcia. Everybody knows Ryan Garcia got logs for legs. Everybody knows he has slow feet. Everybody knows that. And then you have Regis Prograis. Since you moved up, those has been his 2 fights ever since 135, when he was fighting him smaller foe, that he now agreed to, that he was fitting into a smaller weight class, and which is the reason why he says that he didn't have any punch resistance and power. And now that he's at 147, he has punch resistance and power. And I want to remind everybody, I am going to go live today, Thursday. I'm going to go live today at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm not going to go live on Saturday because of the fights, but yes. So Devin Haney also said that those was all fat camps back then, and now he's actually being able to work on things, and that's great to hear, because that's telling me and the fans that he is going to look better than he's ever looked, because he's actually working on things now instead of just cutting weight. And being that he's at officially 147 pounds, those other 2 weights outside of 135 was catch weight fights. He's officially at this weight class. Regis Prograis didn't have no legs either. So we're going to have to see something in this fight. Like, this is somebody, in my opinion, he hasn't fought, in my opinion, because of the dynamics of Brian Norman Jr. So Devin Haney is going to have to show improve in this fight, in my opinion. These make the best fights. The best fights, when you can actually check off some boxes you've been trying to check off for years. And this fight, in my opinion, is Devin Haney's fight to actually check off some boxes. And we're going to see it. But Devin Haney, in my opinion, should stay on the outside and try to use angles in his masterclass IQ and boxing IQ and footwork to actually use his jabs successfully and throw the right down the pipe and move around and bring Brian Norman to him and throw the right without fear. He has to be able to have an offense during this fight, or it's going to be a very long night for Devin Haney. Now, being that he's at 147 pounds now, I would really like to see how the size is going, how he's going to carry that size. Being that even if he has to move around or not, it seems like he does have a little bit more bite in his punches, so we definitely will see. But when it comes to Brian Norman Jr., I really believe he should just be himself. He should just be himself. He said that he'd been trying to figure it out for a while. I can be honest, the first time I actually witnessed and seen him fight, actually I seen a whole one of his whole fights, I really wasn't too impressed, and it's just things that I didn't know that he was going through at the time, and things that's been sorted out. And you can see that Brian Norman Jr. is a better fighter than he was last year and the year before that and the year before that, and he keeps progressing, and you can see it. He said that when he fought Santillan, which was one of his greatest wins, one of his best fights, he didn't have any legs because of a workout that he did 2 or 3 days before the fight. And you could barely tell because of how good he looked during the fight and that he got the knockout. But after him saying that, you can see that he really didn't do that much moving around. It seems like he's 100%, and after hand problems, he's been really knocking people out. When somebody's a power puncher and is getting the knockouts and they have hand problems, man, and then they fix their hands and they get worse knockouts, like, bro, he took 6 weeks off Jin Sasaki's life. Like, real talk. That's different right there, and he's hitting different. You can hear those punches. The coaches in the corners of his opponents admit that they hear his punches, so they know this man is strong. He's nothing to be slept on. It's his title. He says it's his time, and I kind of agree. I agree. He's been fighting over 140 pounds since he's been a professional. And I really think that he can show us what he's made of. I've always said if you beat Devin Haney, you get all the shine in the world when it comes to your boxing career. And this is not going to be any different for Brian Norman Jr., regardless if he's the champion already or not. Trust me. But I've been saying Devin Haney is a jabber. That's like his best punch is the jab. And the jab is a very important punch, don't get me wrong. But he's going to have to pack punches at 140 pounds. At welterweight, you can't have one punch, and if you do, it got to be a knockout punch. And Devin Haney don't really possess knockout power, especially not in the jab. So he's going to have to show us something. When it comes to Brian Norman Jr. and what he should do during this fight, since we know what Devin Haney does, and in my opinion, it's a lot of posturing. 30% posturing, 30% feints, and then jabs and offense. You feel me? Like that's what he does, in my opinion, every fight. These recent fights, I should say, these recent fights. And being that that Brian Norman Jr., in my opinion, is a fighter that Devin hasn't seen yet, bro. Like, Devin haven't seen a fighter like Brian Norman Jr. I believe Brian Norman Jr. has seen a fighter like Devin Haney, and the closest one, Quentin Randall, and he didn't look very good against Quentin Randall, but Quentin Randall was undefeated, and he did beat Quentin Randall. Like, it wasn't no question about it. He won that fight. So we already know he can get on the inside, and this is when he was still figuring out, like he said. You feel me? And Quentin Randall was like 6 foot tall, and his reach is nowhere, but his gloves is all the way down to his knees. So he's taller than Devin with a longer reach than Devin. So when it comes to the jab, what he should be doing is what he always do in a fight. As far as Brian should meet Devin's left jab with a hook. That's usually what he does, and that's what he should keep doing it. I think it's the left hook he meet it with. Whatever. Like, he should keep being himself. Do that. Every time, Devin tried to clinch, go to the body. Matter of fact, like, he only clinch, like, he'll let somebody clinch him. Like, Brian Norman Jr. really don't let nobody clinch him like that. Like, he really don't do that. And we're gonna see how good both of their footwork is. Like, seriously, I keep stressing that. I think I think while Devin Haney and plan is to throw the 1-2, and that's a good plan. I really think that's what his plan is, and I think that's what he should be doing. I think head movement is going to be what Brian Norman needs to do to get his shots off without taking a lot of punishment or being peppered from Devin Haney, for real. Like, you can throw your hooks when Devin is throwing his jab, but don't get faked and Devin fake like he's throwing a jab and actually just pipe that right down the line. You know what I'm saying? Knowing you through that fight, I can see that happening too. But Brian Norman Jr. Got bricks for hands. You know what I'm saying? I think going to the body, I think that hook over the jab, I think that will disrupt what Devin Haney really got going through his brain, and I think it might change the outcome of the fight, and Brian Norman Jr. get to do what he wants to do. That's usually how it happens when he fights people. Like, he break them down. And he starts early, too. So, all in all, I think this is going to be a great fight. I got Brian Norman Jr. winning this fight. I got him dropping Devin Haney for sure. All right. I got him dropping him for sure. And this is just my honest opinion. You know what I mean? I think Devin Haney's good, but he's getting beat. Always like and subscribe to the channel. Peace.